Welcome PSY 310 students. This is my week 4 commentary and my first from the Czech Republic. I'm happy to say I'm almost to my university here, and I find it mind-boggling to explore a new place. I'm in Prague at the moment. Turning to your week 4 in Maine and elsewhere, such as Florida, this is the week in which you want to focus in part on completing test 1, and the prep notes are there, as well as the opportunity to take the test itself. When I indicate a due date on the calendar, it means the end of that week as it's described on our syllabus. So in essence, you have until the end of this week, which we will call Saturday midnight, to do that test number 1. And remember, it's just 1 and isn't heavily weighted as far as the course grade is concerned. In terms of course content, this week we'll be turning to the study of differences, and in particular traits. And as you can see on our website, Gordon Allport is a seminal figure, meaning one of the greats that established this area in the 20th century. And he's a remarkable personality and social scientist, as well as a contributor to the theories of trait research. I will say that his dates are essentially 1930s through the 1960s, and he was reacting to the work of Freud and the emphasis on the internal, the intrapsychic. Both he, in studying personality, and the learning theorists of the day were very much reacting to the psychodynamic perspective on personality and the prediction of behavior. So Gordon Allport is certainly one of a number of important historical figures. I really believe it's important to have some sense of the narrative, because across the generations of psychologists there's been a progression of thought, and rather than each of us sort of reinventing the wheel in our understanding, we certainly can make the job easier for ourselves if we learn of the thought process of people like Gordon Allport. You might say that turning to the 21st century, of course, many of the psych students and some researchers are focused on the big 5 trait theory. Costa and McCrae are the seminal figures who are still living today. And in many ways, they represent the pendulum swinging to the other extreme, when we distilled traits down to 5 primary traits, and we lost much of the richness that Allport and others put forth in the exploration of the complex makeup of the human personality. So I urge you not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as we often do in terms of things that are historical. So there's the test to complete on the first 3 chapters. There is the area of trait psychology to begin exploring. Remembering we'll have more time on this as we go through it. And also, being that we're at week 4 now, it's awfully important that you begin outlining your course project. The reason that outline is so important is that it develops organizational skills and critical thinking skills that are absolutely essential to participating in the field of psychology. So that I do also have, in terms of supplementary materials, a TED Talk on trait research by a professor from Cambridge. I think you'll enjoy it insofar as he's a good speaker and has a good sense of humor that he brings to his presentation of the study of traits. So I hope you'll both learn from and benefit by that. With respect to our adjusting, I've worked on my end of being engaged in the course and updated all of your contributions and discussion board areas. I'll be happy to give you additional feedback or guidance on those if you request it, but otherwise won't. And I also want to begin connecting with you one-to-one through video conferencing using the tools that we have. I think my goal will be to have connected with at least some of my UMA students by the end of the first week that I'm at Czech University in Liberec, and I will be there on Wednesday. So hopefully some of you will show some interest in checking in or doing a consultation on your project or exploration of something about the course that you want to clarify or get a deeper understanding of. And certainly let me say, in the development of your course projects, I am mindful of the ethical responsibilities that you and I both have, and learning about these is something that's easy to sort of overlook and assume. So if there are ethical concerns, as there will be in doing personality research, I do want you to consider them in your course project. In some ways, refer to them, showing that you're developing your ethical reasoning, which is one of UMA's core competency outcomes. So more about that. If there's a request, I can speak at length about the ethical obligations of students, as well as teachers, as well as researchers and clinicians. Each of those, by the way, has a very distinct set of ethical responsibilities and guidelines. But I won't bother you about that now. I'm sure your lives are busy and challenging. I hope the snow is going away there. Here in Prague, it did try to snow today, but by and large, the snow is gone from the streets of Prague. And for me, that's a good thing, although I'm still wearing my bean boots. Okay, I think that's as much as I can usefully say at this point. I'll say more about content after I'm confident of the technology that I'm just trying out now. And if all this goes well, expect more richer discussion about course content in the weeks to follow. Thanks for your patience as we go through this unorthodox semester.